This tiny bike is a Benelli 3-speed moped from the 70s, which I got for a steal from a random old man in a decrepit Italian alleyway. And I don't really like it. Let me explain. Today I'm taking this very green bike on a short trip to test if it can do touring things. There's gonna be squeaking, grinding, and some human error. The fuck? Enjoy.
First of all, I think I need to give you some context about this moped in particular, because when I bought it, I wasn't really shopping for one. I was minding my own business in the evening, as you do, and a friend of mine sends me an ad for this moped. And I couldn't say no for plenty of reasons. First of all, it had everything. The pipe wasn't corroded, which is, you know, common with old bikes like this. Oh, come on, second gear. Oh, the big GS bros, warning. It also looked like really comfortable to do, you know, this, traveling at a steady 52 kilometers an hour. And it was also 50 euros. Like, that was the main reason why I bought it. And then I kind of made up reasons as I went. Endless friggin' fields. And it's a bit too early in the season to experience, like, all the, you know, like, the corn and the wheat.
Now, you may have already heard of Benelli from hits like the CB350, but again, the CB500 also, but again, the CB500 plus 2 and the CB750 plus 2. But for peasants like me, Benelli was synonymous with sick-ass mopeds. Look at all of these, like, they're so cool. Tiny wheels and fuel tanks, tall wheels. You get everything. Small, big, road, off-road, sporty. I just love them. And mine, in particular, is an Export 3VK, meaning 3 speeds and kickstarted.
And even in retrospect, it was a really good deal, because it was, like, I only had to get, well, a title because it didn't have one, and new tires. That's it. The ad said something like, oh, it doesn't run, it needs an engine rebuild, and I was like, does it? Does it though? So I went, looked at it, and when the guy wasn't looking, I was feeling like compression and stuff. It had a butt ton of compression, so I was like, mine, sold. Like, hell that you're in! So I got it home in my granddad's car, and I did the usual things you do. I checked gearbox oil, it was good. I changed it because it was God knows how many decades old. The carb was really gunky, I cleaned that out. I cleaned the fuel tank out, and I put a new spark plug in. Second kick, it burst back to life, and I was really excited about it. I still am, less than I was, but I'm still kind of excited about it. I had this big project in mind of, like, going on big old trips with it, and then eventually, like, engine swapping it, and then it all went tits up when I started actually riding it.
Speaking of disasters...
What was that? The fuck?
That was some idiot's bag exploding because he forgot to close it. Moving on.
Now, of course, it's not all bad, like, there is a lot good about this moped here. First of all, just by looking at it, you can tell that it's more comfortable than my Chow. It's got actual suspension. Well, maybe that's too much of a compliment. It's got springs in the back and springs in the front, and the fork is slightly damped by some, like, plastic bushings inside that you need to grease periodically. And being a 3-speed with a chain drive, you don't have to replace your bed like every other weekend. Go on. 50. Speed limit. Uphill. Like 80 kilograms of payload. There we go. Yeah, stock for stock, this, like, blows a Chow out of the water. It's so much quicker. Yeah, it feels like riding any old 2-stroke, like really old 2-stroke. You're not really chasing a power band because there isn't one. There is a lot of meat down low, and it kind of falls on its face at, like, the mid to upper range, and it is a lot, and I mean it, a lot more stable than my Chow. Like, taking your hand off the handlebar when you're, like, signaling in a roundabout doesn't feel nearly as much as a near-death experience. So on paper, it feels like a much better alternative than the Chow. Emphasis on paper, because there is a lot of stuff wrong with it. You don't really feel the bumps, but the riding position is a bit awkward. Like, you are slightly hunched over and you don't really feel it immediately when you get on it. But then after a couple of kilometers, you start feeling like a weird sensation in your lower back that you can't seem to get away from, which I don't get on my Chow. On my Chow, I just compress my spine. But yeah, it's almost Easter. So it's like every shop, it's like chock full of Easter eggs. Yeah, it feels like it's made for a much smaller individual than I am. And I'm not that tall. And you can also feel that kind of being made for a 14-year-old. My toes on the things, on the, what they're called, on the pegs. But I can't on this one. I have to put like the front half of my foot on it, which feels kind of awkward to me. If I try to put my toes on it, I can. With my left foot, it's easy as that, but my right foot is kind of impeded by the Kickstarter, so it takes some getting used to, but it's nothing, bad. Like, I would not turn down a deal on one of these just because my feet felt awkward. It's also great for this kind of scenario, straight road, slight elevation changes. You can still look around without endangering yourself and being careful about the big-ass truck behind me. And being chain drive, you can put a slightly smaller rear sprocket, as I did, to get slightly higher, cruising speeds. The main problem, though, that I have with this moped emerged as soon as I've put that smaller sprocket in the rear, because before doing that, I would just leave it in third, everywhere, and it would go. Now, though, I have to use second gear a whole lot more, especially going uphill or like in roundabouts when people go slow. And second gear on this moped is, well, for a lack of a better word, it is the worst, poopiest second gear in existence. Because you have a detent in here for neutral, which is fine. You don't really need a detent for first gear because it's all the way back. You don't really need a detent for third gear because it's all the way forward, but you kinda need a detent for second gear because it's in the friggin' middle of it. And there isn't one. So you kinda need to feel where second gear is, but you can't really feel it because it doesn't really click the same way that first and third do. I have tried to carve a detent for second gear because there is a spring-loaded pin in here where this spring is, which holds it in neutral on the detent. That kind of improved it on the upshift, but the downshift is still so vague. It feels a lot more like a motorcycle than, a bicycle with wheels. But on the other hand, it feels like a old 70s Italian motorcycle with all the quirks that go, along with those, which isn't a bad thing if you like them. By the way, it carves corners so good. Oh yeah, carving corners, knee down, let's go. But you are still stuck with moped performance and motorcycle maintenance, which is the worst possible combination. Now, I am being a real Debbie Downer, but with all of that crap said about it, I am doing it. We are doing it. It works. It's doing what I want it to do. I don't want to bash too much on it because I still like it. It's still a fun moped to ride. It's quirky, it's unique. You don't get stuff like this anymore. The Chow is cool, it's got, heritage and stuff, but it's still a scooter at the end of the day. This isn't. This is a weird, quirky motorcycle. No, too long. Third gear is too long. Oh, and it's a hairpin. Second gear, and I've also tried to choose a road without too much elevation changes because I know he wouldn't like it. I'm not trying to actively bash on it. I'm just kind of disappointed that it wasn't, as good as I wanted it to be. Ooh. Ew, White Cliffs of Dover. Ooh. Oh, so these, I think, are hazelnut trees. Yeah, I think this is the area that supplies hazelnuts to Ferrero. So all of this will become Nutella at some point. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. It's good, not great. Yeah. Although, stick around, because I'm going to a really nice place. I'm just not there yet. I was hoping to, finish my commentary as soon as I got there. But yeah, that's how it goes, I think. You know what? I'm gonna put some music on and let's just get there. We made it, buddy. We made it. Yeah, I think today's verdict is that I like Japanese motorcycles better than Italian ones. And I kind of hate to admit it because I talked a lot of smack towards them, but I really enjoyed myself today. It was a really nice trip. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. By the way, you guys are crazy. Like, the last video did awesome numbers for some reason, and we got a bunch of subscribers. I think we're past 150 at this point. So thank you guys a lot. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, on that note, I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you want to see more.
74 kilometers so far. 74 kilometers. Wait. 74 divided by 1.2. 62 kilometers per liter.